Hey my lovelies, welcome to April. I'm sure the reason why you clicked on this video is because of the title, and I'm going to get into that very shortly. But before we start, I want to say hi. My name is Nova Simone. This is Heal with Nova Simone. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like this video, and if you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button for me. Thank you. Now, I just want to get into it because if you've been here on my channel, you know since January, we've been on an identity transplant journey. It's called the Sovereign 6 Challenge. And this is where we have taken micro actions. Each month we've had different micro actions to take for that month. Last month was our March Grateful Receiving Month, where we learned how to be open to receiving. This month is all about authenticity. April is all about authenticity and vulnerability. And what a perfect month to start that, because we're in spring officially now, and spring is all about new beginnings, and we are still and we are in the fire horse year. I can't get over that. So this is all about moving forward, taking initiation. It's all about Aries energy, and it's Aries month right now. It's Aries season. So yeah, it's a good time to just move forward in authenticity, as I have been wanting to do for the last few years. Now, for April's micro action, we will be calling this the Imperfect Light Activation. This is where we will be really tapping into ourselves, into our authentic selves, and putting ourselves out there to connect with our future self. Because how are we going to connect with our future self if we're not being authentic right now? If we're not authentically living our lives right now, how are we going to connect with our future self? Is our future self a fake, a fraud? No, she is everything we want to be right now. So that's why we have to take these micro actions to align with her, or him, if I have any males watching. So a few of our April protocols for this challenge will be, for one, we will be challenging ourselves to create 4 moments of intentional vulnerability. This can be a post, a video, a voice note, but the goal here is to speak on things that we've been nervous to share, or that we've been hiding, or something that we have been ashamed of, right? So basically we'll be working on some type of shadow work here this month. We'll also be naming 3 specific fears that I'll say keep us scripted, and I'll get into why I say scripted later in this video. But for example, we could be acting in a way that pleases other people. I will be getting into people pleasing also. And it could be out of the fact that they don't respect, like this could be an example. They don't respect me if they see my struggle. Okay, they won't respect me if they see my struggle. They won't like me if they see me who I really am, for who I really am. Nobody's gonna watch my content because I feel this way about myself. That's what it is. And the last protocol will be our forgiveness ritual, because we have to forgive ourselves for all this time that we have not been acting in our authenticity, that told us that we had to be perfect, or that we had to be this way or that way to be worthy. We need to forgive ourselves for that. The point of April's Imperfect Light Activation is to reveal the raw and unscripted truths about who we truly are. And so if you want to hop on this Sovereign 6 journey with us, definitely subscribe, hit that like button, and join us in the community. Also, join us on Discord. The link is in my bio, and it'll be in the description of this video. So let's get into it. This is something that has been very hard to say out loud, to come to terms with, to not feel ashamed of. And I'm just gonna come out and say it, is that I never wanted to be a mother, and I never felt like I was supposed to be a mother. And I felt like I was being a mother out of obligation, because I made the choice to open my legs and have a baby. But I want to step into the fact that people pleasing has been my downfall all of these years. Because one thing about the reason why I even had a kid was because I wanted to please my mother. Because my mother decided she wanted to start crying when I mentioned having an abortion. And someone who has never seen her mom cry, and I felt that, I didn't want that for her. I don't want her to feel sad. So what did I do? At stupid, young, naive, 19 years old, or no, I was 18 at the time, decided to have this baby to please my mother, who actually I'm in therapy for right now because I was her punching bag and I didn't even know it. But that's a whole nother story. But to please her, I went and did a life-changing, extremely crazy action and had a baby at 19, knowing I did not want to be a mother. I did not want to be a mother. Fast forward. Life happened, and my son lived with me for about a year, okay? And we moved to California, and I got into some really, really rough and tight spots, to the point where I ended up leaving my son in California for like 5 years, not on purpose, but because that's how that's the way life took me. 5 years later, after I've been through the ringer, I get arrested. I go to prison, and in prison, I have this epiphany, and I'm like, I need to get my son back. Mind you, the whole 5 years I was away from my child, I was in so much guilt for not being in my son's life for that long. Okay, it was eating me up. I was becoming more depressed. I was into drugs. I was into alcohol. I was not doing what I was supposed to do. I was a stripper and I was a hoe. Okay, like I was doing a lot of stuff to survive, and I was living in guilt for not being what society thought I should be. Okay, and what I was judging myself for. So as I'm sitting in prison, I start to have these feelings and these emotions and these thoughts, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back and do what I gotta do to get my son back, right? Not like he was taken away from me, but more like kind of taken away from me, but I don't really want to get into that whole thing. So I do what I gotta do. I come back to California because this was in Florida. I spent time in Florida. I spent those 5 years in Florida. I went to prison in Florida. So I get back to California. Another 5 years go by, and this whole 5 years, I am doing everything that I need to do to get my son back. I'm working so hard, and I'm dealing with everybody's bullshit that I ended up getting paralyzed, okay? I've talked about this in my other videos from like last year, but I ended up with an autoimmune disorder. Black women deal with autoimmune disorders because they're keeping everybody's shit, and they're not expressing themselves in a healthy way. Okay, they're not caring for themselves. That's why my channel is all about self-love and compassion and sovereignty these days. Okay, because we need to stand in our power and not let society and the world tell us who to be and how to be. And so anyway, I developed this autoimmune disorder out of people pleasing and trying to be someone I wasn't. Started my healing journey and was still on the journey to getting my son back. Last year, July 2025, I finally got my son back. Ecstatic. Absolutely happy, right? Proud of myself. Proud of all of my accomplishments. I got my apartment. I have money coming in steadily. Everything is fine. I'm in a better place mentally and emotionally. Everything is good. I get my son back. He actually gets kicked out from where he is. He's 13 now, right? He's going through puberty. He has his own traumas, right? And so I'm trying, and I'm doing the mother thing, and I'm doing it, and I'm doing exactly what I need to do as a mother. But then things pop up, and true colors start being shown. And I started realizing that my son has really bad narcissistic traits. And he's 13. Now, me on my healing journey, who has dealt with narcissism in the past, in every relationship, and the whole reason I started my healing journey was because I was dealing with a narcissistic, misogynistic man. And I've dealt with misogyny and narcissism my whole life. And so as I'm on this healing journey, I'm not allowing, and not even on the healing journey, but now that I'm in my sovereignty era of my healing journey, I bring my son in. And now he's trying to push buttons that I will not accept. I have so many boundaries that he doesn't understand nor respects. And the reason why I had to give up on motherhood is because I started to realize I didn't ask for this treatment. The treatment, being his mother and doing what I needed to do, was a piece of cake. Dealing with his trauma and his disrespect was not happening. I don't tolerate disrespect from anyone, and I vowed before I even got him back to the person that he was with, I will not let anyone stress me out. And he was stressing me out. I mean, I was all types of bitches and hoes and fuck yous and I hate yous and I hate it here and you should have never got me back. I don't have to put up with that. Not to mention all the gaslighting, emotional manipulation. Okay, what is it called? Oh man, I have it all written down in my phone. I have all of the whole list of narcissism traits, covert narcissistic traits that my son carries. And I am not going to deal with that. I will not tolerate anyone calling me out of my name, especially a 13-year-old boy who I'm doing everything for. I'm caring for you. I'm making sure you're good. I took you out of a volatile environment and brought you to peace. My house is peaceful. I gave you what you wanted. I put you in karate. I put braces in your mouth for your confidence. Something you've been asking for. You asked me for karate. I put you right in. That's my biggest bill, but I don't complain because that's what you want, and I want what's good for your future, right? I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do as a parent, and I'm getting spit in my face, and I'm being disrespected, and there is no respect for me. Now I understand he is 13. I haven't been in his life in 12 years. We're still getting to know each other, but that doesn't excuse the fact that you are treating me like I'm garbage. Okay? That does not excuse the fact. So I took it, and now I didn't just give up immediately. No, this has been going on for 4 months. He only been living with me 6 months. Okay, and it's been terrible for the last 4 months. I started to feel the stress level of the stress level I felt before I went into the hospital for my disability. Before I was paralyzed, that stress I was feeling, that's the level of stress I was feeling with him. And technically, my autoimmune disorder is in remission, and anything can trigger it, especially a narcissistic, disrespectful, mean-ass little kid who does not care about anybody but themselves. And I've discussed this. I've had so many sessions with my therapist about this, about him, about my relationship with him, about what I've been trying to do for him. And I've hit my breaking point many times. Okay? This was my last breaking point. Trying to discipline him because words weren't doing it, I fractured my pinky. This was the last straw. Because it has always been, because why has it always been, my body has to hurt physically. I have to physically be hurt for me to think, oh, this is too much for me. Oh, this is way out of my comfort zone. This is way out of where I'm trying to be, who I'm trying to be, what I'm trying to do for my life and others. I couldn't even be connected to myself because I was dealing with his teenage shit and traumatic shit. I put him in therapy, y'all, because he needed help. I was doing everything a mother should do. And I could not be a better mother than to remove him from my apartment because the dynamic between the two of us was starting to get violent. Okay? The healthiest thing I could do as a mother is to remove him. I can't do this. We can't do this. This is not working. You really didn't want to be here in the first place. I wanted you here. And then as this is happening, I started to realize, well, damn, I I really didn't even want to be a mom, and this is what I have to deal with because I'm trying to do the right thing. Now let me tell you about this trying to do the right thing shit. Trying to do the right thing is like people pleasing. At least for me it is. My trying to do the right thing is I'm feeling obligated to get my son back because this is what society says. Society says I need to be in my son's life because I had him, okay? He's my responsibility. Nobody else popped him out, right? So I feel like I'm doing a good thing by doing the right thing, but also putting myself to the back burner because this is not what I want for my life. This is not what I want. And I'm realizing this and I'm getting more clarity about this, especially the worse I'm getting treated by this child that does not respect me, does not care about anything, but does not care about what I'm trying to do for his life, but only cares about the fact that he's in karate. Doesn't care about me, will disrespect the fuck out of me, curse me out, call me all types of names, throw my furniture around, kick my closet door in, threaten to burn up my apartment, threatened to hurt himself. I had to get him evaluated. Like, in 6 months, this is what I deal with. Imagine 6 years from now. He is 13. This boy will be out of control. He's already out of control. I'm not dealing with that. Society can judge me all they want. I am not dealing with that. I refuse to deal with anybody who disrespects me when I'm only doing the right thing. Who disrespects me and treats me like I'm not shit when I'm only doing what I'm supposed to do for you. I am no longer putting myself to the back burner for other people who don't respect me or don't appreciate it. And I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I said it before I got him. I will not put up with it. And I stood on that. That is why you need boundaries. That's why you need to set the standard for your life. That is why you set the standard for your life. And you don't let people come in and try to tell you who and how to be. Society wants me to be a mother to a child that disrespects me and shows me his narcissism and doesn't give a fuck. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. So yes, this is why I gave up on motherhood. This is why. I never wanted kids. I never want another kid. I never wanted another kid. And I'm sure you can see how riled up I am about this situation because it is traumatic. This whole experience was traumatic for him and I. And the healthiest thing I could do was remove him and put him back where he was. He showed her more respect. She not all types of bitches and hoes and fuck yous, but I am. No. And I've talked to my therapist about this, and my therapist told me the last time I hit my breaking point, don't wait till the next time you hit your breaking point to make a decision. And I waited until my breaking point was a physical breaking point. And the crazy thing about this is that this is the pinky finger, right, that I fractured. And the pinky finger in medical astrology is the Gemini communication finger. I'm a Gemini and I am a communicator. And this happens when you're not being heard. And I wasn't being heard. He was not hearing me. I gave him a good life. Everybody could say that I gave him a good life. He had it good in there. And maybe that's why. You know, maybe because I was a soft parent. But I'm not about to be a hard parent. This is what being a hard parent get me. That's not me. I'm in my soft girl era. If you can't align with that, you gotta go. And 13 and you already acting like this, imagine you 15. He's threatened me. I threatened him. I ain't gonna lie. But that's the thing. But that's the point. It should not be at that level. It should not be at that level. And I will not put myself to the back burner for anyone ever again. Ever again. And I hope that whoever is watching this can understand and see it from my point of view. and be open to understanding that everything is not always sugar and fucking cookies. Everything is not love and light. There is some really dark people and really dark sides to life. Oh, come on now. Okay? And I can't surround myself with people who are in their trauma, in their negativity. As someone who feels energies and absorbs that shit, and I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I can't, and it's small, I'm not dealing with that. You over there moody for what? Won't talk about your feelings, won't even say you're mad, but I can feel you're mad. I can see you're angry or you're moody or whatever it is, but you don't see it. You don't understand levels of crashing out, but I do. You don't have emotional intelligence, and I do. You don't even try to understand emotions, but I do. And I can feel it. And if you can't feel it and I can feel it, and now it's a problem because I can see it and you can't see it, or you won't admit it because you're not being truthful with yourself, I can't deal with it because now I'm the issue. Now I'm the issue. Not in my apartment, not in my home, not in my sanctuary. So yeah, I hope whoever's watching this can actually see and be inspired to do your own thing when society says it's taboo. When society says you gotta put up with that shit just because it's family, it's your kid, it's your mom, it's your cousin, it's this, it's that. No. Boundaries. If they don't respect your boundaries, they gotta go. I'm sorry. Not sorry. And some of you may not even understand. Some of you could be really judging me right now. Some of you could be gasping, like clenching your pearls. But honey, when you are on a healing journey, when you are in your sovereign era and you know who you are, or you're starting to know who you are, and you know what you will not put up with, you will understand. You will understand that no matter who it is, you will not put up with that shit, because that is not who you are. That is not where you are. That is not where you're going. That is not who you're trying to be. That is not the life that you want to live. That is not the person you want to be. I do not want to be that person that broke her pinky because I was trying to discipline a disrespectful ass kid. It won't be me. It won't be me. So I hope, somebody got something from this. And what I will say is, it's been a couple weeks now, like two weeks since he left my home. And my sanctuary feels like mine again. I feel like me again. I feel more connected with myself again. I'm more at peace. I feel light and airy again. I feel more aligned. And y'all don't even understand how much in alignment I feel. Like, I knew I was gonna have to learn some lessons. When the problem started with my kid, I knew I was gonna have to learn some lessons, and I was like, you know what, I deserve this. I wasn't there, da-da-da-da-da. But no, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. Not that shit that was happening. I don't deserve that. And this is me just being completely authentic and vulnerable with you all, because anybody could see this video and be like, what the fuck? She gave up on her kid. You could either look at it as I gave up on my kid, or I did what was best for both of us. And I truly believe I did what was best for both of us. And I truly believe I passed the test that God gave me, that source, my higher self, was giving me, with flying colors. So much so that I developed this pimple. Y'all, can you see this pimple? A couple days after he left my apartment. This was a fat ass pimple. This was a fat ass pimple. Okay? I never had a pimple this fat on my face. And in this part on my cheek, it's literally on my cheekbone. And so I went to ChatGPT and I said, like, I got this badass pimple and I feel like this is a spiritual purge. Because I never had a pimple that big. And I think I saw a video about someone was talking about stress and how it comes out through your skin. And that triggered the thought, like, holy crap, this fat ass pimple is probably because I'm purging all of the bullshit I just went through. And so I go to ChatGPT and it literally says, in traditional Chinese medicine, the face, the cheeks are connected to the lungs, and the lungs is where we carry our grief. Not in that word. Maybe I'll put it on the screen what it actually says. But it's connected to grief. And so I developed this fat ass pimple on my cheek, on my grief line. That's not a coincidence. That is alignment. I am so divinely aligned with what I'm doing in life and what I'm supposed to be and do. And it's because I'm doing what I want to do for my life. It is not taking anybody's shit. It is not allowing society to tell me who I'm supposed to be. It is living in my truth. Living in my most authentic truth. I never felt so authentic. It felt so good to say out loud that I never wanted to be a mother. It felt so good to realize all of the people pleasing I've been doing. People pleasing because I had my son, I wanted to make my mom happy. People pleasing because I strived to get my son because I wanted to make everybody happy. I wanted to make him happy. I wanted to make the woman that was taking care of him happy. I wanted everybody to look at me with this, oh, she actually did it. And guess what? I did do it. And it ain't right. It's not aligned with what I'm trying to do in my life. And whatever is not aligned, whatever is misaligned, gotta go. Gotta go. Whoever, whatever it is, gotta go. I need to remove myself and I need to remove you because this is not working. And you are making me, and you are causing me trauma. And I'm probably causing you trauma. So this is not working. We're triggering each other back and forth. I'm trying to heal. You don't even know what healing is. We can't do this. If there's anybody in your life who you're feeling this type of emotions about, like, you know this person is no good for you, they are making you feel and act in ways that are not aligned with who you want to be, you need to remove them. I hope this is some type of inspiration for you to understand, for it to be like, ping, I can't deal with that shit and I don't have to deal with that shit and I don't want to deal with that shit. My biggest thing was I didn't want to do this anymore. I felt obligated, and obligation made me feel like shit. I didn't want to do that anymore. And I felt I didn't have to. I told myself I didn't have to deal with that. If you're not trying to better yourself to make this relationship work, I am not putting up with it. If you're completely disrespecting me, I am not putting up with it. If you're continually showing me narcissism, I am not putting up with that. You have to know who you are. You have to know who you want to be. You have to love yourself. If I never stepped onto this self-love journey, I would have let him keep stepping on my head and stepping on my toes. Because society said I have to, because he's my son. I ain't never been so free. I couldn't even be free before that, because before I got him, I was stuck in this cycle of I need to get my son back. I was locked into that mindset of I'm a terrible person, I'm a terrible mother, because I need to get my son back. And then I went and did all the things. I spent many years doing all the things. I got him back, and this is how I got treated. I release you. I release you. So yeah, happy April, happy new beginnings, happy imperfect light activation. I'm not perfect. I definitely wasn't a perfect mother, especially not in his eyes. I'm definitely not perfect in society's eyes. I'm me. And as you can see, I've been very open and vulnerable, and I mentioned earlier I wanted to talk about script and how we script our lives. And for the last about year, I guess, I've been using scripts on YouTube to help the collective, to help my lovelies, and although everything I've mentioned in my videos, I've been doing myself. But I used ChatGPT to help me script it so I could perfectly express it to y'all instead of being this raw, vulnerable person I am right now because I was in fear that y'all wouldn't like me. And I'm not doing that anymore. I've started to feel so disconnected from myself. So I'm not doing that anymore. And so in my next video, I will talk more about that. And I will talk more about people pleasing, because this video is very, very long now. But I have achieved my first intentional and vulnerable post for the month of April for this Imperfect Light Activation Challenge. And I hope I've inspired someone to do the same. You don't have to be as vulnerable as I was, but you know, baby steps. Baby steps are the micro actions that we're taking to align with our future self. And my future self don't take no shit. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, please give me a like and a subscribe. Because this is me. And this is who I'm gonna be. I'm still gonna give y'all all the info that I learned. That's what I'm doing here. Learning about myself and sharing it with y'all. So definitely hit that subscribe button if that's something that you are interested in. If you're interested in joining me on this journey of authenticity, true vulnerability and authenticity, I should tag a video, an old video of me talking about vulnerability from way back when I first started my YouTube channel. I couldn't even get the word vulnerability out. That's how uncomfortable I felt. But once you start to connect with yourself, and it takes time and it takes work and it takes a lot of shadow work, it takes a lot of digging into yourself, it takes a lot of looking at the sides of yourself that you really don't like and you really feel like society is gonna be like, ugh. And you gotta love those parts of yourself. You gotta express those parts of yourself. You gotta be yourself. All right? So I'm gonna cut the video right here. Thank you so much for watching, my lovelies. I really appreciate y'all. For free?
20?
For free?
20?
20?
Free?
Huh?
Casi free. Belleza por otra belleza.
Oh, no cash.
Cell, Apple Pay.
Huh?
Cell, Apple Pay.
No Zelle, no Apple Pay. Sorry, honey. Oh, thank you, though.
Thank you, baby.
But yeah, if you liked the video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And stay tuned for my next video. And I will see y'all next time on this Imperfect Light Activation. Bye.